What's up, you guys? Welcome back to the YouTube Barber Academy. Today we're going to be shooting out these three titans of the industry. Everybody knows we got the Magic Clip. This is the one that started it all. Then we got the Wahl Senior. This is the one that improved it a little bit. And then we got the all-new Gamma Rebel, which is the new Rebel on the block. And which one of these is right for you? Well, we're going to find out at the end of this video. Secondly, I just want to mention that I am sponsored by Gamma. Gamma has no input on any of the videos I do, and I have no real reason to lie to you about these clippers. I'm going to go through very thoroughly and very honestly and give you my best opinion on which one is right for you. Because what's right for me might not be right for you. So, with that being said, let's get it. Okay, I've been working with the Magic Clip, the Senior, and the Rebel now for a couple of weeks, and I've been putting them through the paces. Everything that I could think to do with these clippers, I've done. I have this poll that I asked recently on my community tab. What are the most important factors to consider when you're buying a clipper? Is it value, performance, battery life, brand loyalty, or is it screw it, just buy them all? Now, I'll go through the poll and I'm going to react to that towards the end of the video, but let's just start this one off by saying that I've put these through all the paces and I have some cool data that I want to bring to you, and yeah, let's get started. First off, let's start with what's similar. You're going to notice that all of them have about the same shape. They have this nice little 2-3 bumps on the bottom, good grip. The Rebel kind of has a thumb impression, and so did the Magic Clip before it fell off and got lost.
The gold piece? The f***ing piece to this. It fell off. They always fall off.
The Senior is a little bit more traditional, doesn't have the thumb indent, but for the most part, you're getting about the same exact body. And you're also going to be able to interchange all the blades. If you look at the blade, I have a fusion blade on this Wahl Senior. You can switch these all around and you can set them up however you like. So if the blade is something that you really like, you can feel free to use that blade on any of these clippers. That's where the similarities ends, and this is where the differences kind of start to pile up. So let's start with the Senior. This one weighs in at 364 grams. It is the heaviest of the lot. The Rebel, 263 grams, which is the lightest of the lot, and the Magic Clip is right in the middle, and it weighed in at 284 grams. So if you can think of the weight of the Senior, if you have worked with the Senior, you know that this Rebel is going to be a little bit lighter. Some people like a heavier clipper, some people like a lighter clipper. So for me, none of these machines are crazy heavy to the point where I wouldn't want to use them. But I do like my clippers on the lighter side, like after a long day of using them, which is exactly why I kind of turned away from the Mythic myself. I definitely prefer something a little bit lighter. Battery life. We're going to see some pretty big differences here. Big ups to the Rebel. The Rebel has a 3-hour runtime. That's 180 minutes of runtime. Whereas the battery life of the Magic Clip actually comes in second. Magic Clip comes in with a 90-minute runtime, and the lowest on the totem pole as far as stock battery life goes is the Senior. The Senior has a 70-minute runtime. So this would be a good time to actually talk about the TOOM 45 Eco battery. Now that's a battery that you can put in any of these Wahl clippers to actually give them 50% more battery life. So that doesn't actually mean that it's doubling the battery life. That means that it's adding 50% of whatever the battery life originally was. So if this is 70 minutes, for example, half is 35. So we're going to take 70 plus 35, and we have a 105-minute runtime. That's approximate, but most people are saying that with the Eco battery, they're getting about 2 hours of runtime, which definitely is a significant upgrade to the original motor. And if anybody has used a Magic Clip, you notice that these things kind of take off like a prop plane. You notice that there's going to be like a lot of bogging down and speeding up when you're using them. I don't really know why they do that so much. However, we actually do have a TOOM 45 Eco battery in one of these, and it has eliminated that bogging and going down. So it's definitely an upgrade across the board, and you guys can check them out on the TOOM Squad site, and I'm going to link that down below. The charging stand and options. Okay, there are some charging stands available for the Wahl clipper, but the Rebel kind of takes this one right out of the box. You're going to get the charging stand, and you also have that 3 hours of runtime, so that's already taken care of for you. Whereas there are some charging options available for the Wahl clippers. I was able to find the actual stock Wahl clipper charger, which can charge all of them, for $64 on some site that I don't know anything about, so I'm not going to link it below. There are definitely some third-party options that'll give you some stands out there, but that's definitely an extra expense that you're going to have to find. So far to get these batteries in line with what the Rebel's doing, you're going to have to spend $24.99 do some work on your clipper, possibly buy the stand, and then you're going to be close to the same ballpark, but you'll still fall about an hour short. Rebel actually comes with 3 charging options. This is the included stand. It has a micro USB below, which is dope, and it also has a magnetic charging option, so you can plug this little magnet into here, and then you can go ahead and you can charge it at your desk. This will reduce the amount of cord space. Something that drives me absolutely crazy is how big these power blocks have to be. So when you go to plug it in, you can't even plug that many into a strip because the size of them is just enormous. So that's kind of a smart idea. It's sort of like the Omni cord, where we can have one cord that powers them all, and the battery life is actually so good that I'm not needing to plug them in very often. The conclusion when it comes to the battery life, the Rebel has them beat all the way around, including the stand, the micro USB, and the clipper stock being able to cut for 3 hours. That's just a huge advantage to me. So yeah, that's going to go to the Rebel. Next category, not the Rebel's best. Okay, so this is the noise. The noise, this is something I never used to take into consideration, but the Magic Clip takes this one with the lowest decibel reading. I read it at 66. The Senior came in at 74 decibels, and the Rebel was the loudest at 77. Now, the noise on all 3 of these machines is acceptable to me. I don't have any problems cutting with them. I don't have any problems with them being too loud, but the Rebel is definitely louder than the other 2. So that was my finding. But I'm not really having any trouble talking with people when I'm using this. I mean, you guys could hear, this is the Rebel. So that's the noise. I'm able to talk over it. You guys can hear me. An example to it would be, here's the Senior. I'm talking. You guys can hear me. Most of them are just fine. I mean, this isn't too much for me to deal with. And here's the Magic Clip, the little baby prop plane taking off. And we don't got no problems talking over top of this one either. So they're really not crazy loud, but these two are pretty close together in how loud they get. All right, so enough of the mumbo jumbo. All right, let's talk about how do they perform. Right off the bat, I had to remove one of these from the equation because the Senior and the Rebel are just eons in performance above the Magic Clip, and it doesn't even really make sense to compare them when it comes to performance.
I would say it's unusable, personally.
So, with the Rebel versus the Magic Clip, if we split this into a subcategory where we're going to go against these two, the Senior and the Rebel can perform very close. The Rebel has the edge in power at 7,000 RPMs, and it gets 7.94 pounds of torque versus the Senior, 6,400 RPMs, 7.72 pounds of torque. So we had some engineers do some testing on these, and those were the numbers that they came up with. Technical jargon aside, they both perform great, but I did notice one big plus when using the Rebel. I do a lot of clipper over comb, and I tend to move pretty fast when I do it. I was noticing this myself when I was working with the Senior, and of course we did all the testing with the actual Wahl blade on it. I was actually needing to slow down a little bit because they were sort of pulling and they were sort of snagging the hair. They weren't not cutting, they weren't misperforming. This is just how fast they were able to cut and how big my sections are. This does not mean that you can't use the Senior. You just have to be a little more mindful of what you're doing when you're doing clipper over comb. So I'd have to say, as far as performance go, the Senior and Rebel are really neck and neck. Personally, I prefer the Rebel because I do a lot of clipper over comb. I tend to move a little faster than I should. But when it comes to the fade, they're both a joy to use. And if you're a fan of one of these companies' blades over the other, let's just keep in mind that they're interchangeable. So I asked what matters most when selecting a clipper, and I think the most fair way to measure it is value. What are we getting based on what we are spending? Across the board and all the information that we talked about, the Rebel comes with a stand, the double magnetic guards. You also have the click lever, which can be floating or clicking depending on what you want. And you also get a 3-hour runtime. Stretch bracket, conversion to Andis kit is also on the other bracket, and you're going to basically just be getting a lot of value in the case. And if you guys want to check out an unboxing, there's plenty of unboxings out there, but you're getting a lot of value along with this. And you're also getting the new slim deep tooth cutter, so if anybody had issues in performance before, which there wasn't much, but this has really improved all the cutting across the board with every Gamma clipper. So you're getting the fusion blade, you're getting the slim deep tooth cutter, you're getting the stand, you're getting the micro USB charging support, and you're getting the double magnetic guards, stretch bracket, extra cases, levers, and just, you know, the list goes on and on for value as far as this goes. Now, when it comes to either the Magic Clip or the Seniors, you're not getting any stand, you're not getting any of that, no other supporting stuff. You're basically getting a clipper, some guards, and a charger. All right, and the guards can be really spacey when it comes to Wahl. Sometimes they come with Wahl Premium guards, sometimes they don't. The Senior comes with Wahl Premium blades most of the time, 70-minute runtime. It's about $165 on Amazon and $140-ish on some of the other sites I've seen it. Or 614 Barber Supply, they had it for around $140. So as far as the Magic Clip, guys, I think it's time to put the Magic Clip down, but it does have a 90-minute runtime. It can be improved by the TIM 45 battery, and it looks like you can find this on Amazon for around $120, and I'm not sure if you're going to get premium guards with that or not. Those were some of the prices that I was seeing. So, with that being said, for me, personally, I'm going to go with value here. I think if we're talking $160, $170, if we're talking a $10 difference, we're getting a lot more if we get the Gamma Rebel. And, you know, that's just my personal opinion. Some of you guys are going to be Wahl fanboys, and you know I'm kind of a Gamma fanboy. So, like, I totally get it. Any of these clippers would be an excellent gift for a barber, for somebody for Christmas, something like that. And obviously you could use these for home use too, but for home use, this is kind of overkill. But hey, even though I'm just doing home use stuff, sometimes I go overboard too. I want to react to this poll real quick, so let's get it.
So what are the most important factors when buying a new clipper you consider? 392 votes, value 14%. That's the price and what you get in the box. That's kind of surprising. Performance 72%. Not surprised there. Battery life 6%. Brand loyalty 2%. Screw it, just buy them all 7%. I'm surprised anybody voted for that. I was just messing around. Okay. So battery life really isn't a huge concern, and it looks like performance is like your most determining factor when it comes to buying something. And still, I think the Gamma Rebels got them beat across the board in performance. However, the performance of the Senior and the Rebel were pretty neck and neck. So if you're going on performance, aside from the clipper over comb thing that we talked about with that, you're still going to be happy with either one of them. And again, you know, it's the barber that makes the clipper better, not the other way around. I hope that you guys enjoyed this content. I hope that you liked it, and I hope that it helps you make your decision, man. So drop a comment down below, smash that like button. I'll be back at you with another video soon, and let me know if you guys like content like this. This is the YouTube Barber Academy. I'm Mr. Eddie Barber, and I'm out of here. Peace.